welcome to the fourth part of our simple task system. So in this video we're going to go ahead and create another C# file. I went ahead and created an input event manager, and we'll cover that in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and do key count objective. Let's go ahead and open that up. And before we do that, I want to copy the task complete objective. Okay, so this is going to be key count. Alright, and this is going to require a key code, Unity engine dot key code. Okay, key. And then it's also going to require a integer and count. Okay, I call this key, and then do an int count. Alright, so m key equals key, and then m count equals count. Alright, so for the ad listeners, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and jump over. Let's delete this first. Alright, let's delete on task complete. Actually, let's remove that altogether. Okay, so we need an event to listen for. So I went ahead and created this input event manager. So let me go ahead and run through it real quick. So the very first thing that you will run into is this public static event system action key code and key pressed. Okay, so you can make static events, and what that means is that the event will belong to the class as opposed to an instance of the class. So the way that you would refer to this event is input event manager dot key pressed, as opposed to the instance name dot key pressed. Now this right here is going to be a little bit different than the one we had before, because this is a system.action, just like before, but it's generic, meaning it'll take the type that you pass in between this open caret and closed caret thing you got going on here. So I want to pass an event with the type key code. And this is going to be handy for, you know, making or figuring out which key was pressed, because we want a reference to which key. So if I had created this a little bit differently and actually had it where I could press F, G, H, but I'm only looking for F, I'm going to have to, whenever I pass G, I'm going to need a reference to which key was passed so I can determine if it's the one I'm looking for. That kind of thing. Okay. So, since the only key that I'm actually going to be looking for is the letter F, or the key code F, the only one that I'm checking for at any point in time is F. But if you have for instance, like an inventory that opens up on I, you would probably set this to I and then have a key pressed on I and have an event that, or an objective be open the inventory, and I don't know, something like that. Actually, I'd probably put that on the inventory class. Yeah, probably would. But either way, so then notify on key press. This should look familiar to you. The only thing that's different is that we are passing a parameter this time, because again, it requires a parameter here. So let's go back to the key count objective. We are going to say input event manager using. So I did change the namespace. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it is .mono behaviors because I'm inheriting from mono behavior, and I kind of want to sort it that way. So it will require you to put a using reference to that. Okay, and then we're going to say key pressed plus equals and on key pressed. Okay, and then I'm going to move this down to the bottom. Okay, and here I'm going to remove that. Okay, so we're going to set that to key. So if m key equals key, and count is greater than 0. No, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, we're going to say m count minus minus if m count is less than or equal to 0. And we're going to say is complete equals true, and m or task, task update. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, so task.update. So we're going to be updating the task at that point. Okay, so yep, that's pretty much it for the key count objective. So real quick, what it's going to do is if I set the key code, I'm only going to set it to F. But when I set it to F, it's going to be sitting there listening, and it's going to say if the key that was pressed is equal to the key that we're looking for, which again is if F is equal to, and then the event will only ever launch F when I press F. So if F is equal to F, then the count that we originally needed, so say you needed to press it 3 times, we'll subtract 1 from it. So then it'll go to 2, 1, 0. And once it hits 0, it's going to say is complete is equal to true, and then task.update. And if this is the only task that you had, then or if this is the only objective you had, then the task will become complete. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an example of how we might run this by creating 2 tasks and then setting some objectives up and stuff like that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, and that will be the last one.